the Monday, April 22nd, 2024 board meeting to order. Everyone can please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so tonight is our organizational meeting. It's the first meeting after the election that was held on April 2nd, so we'll have a couple of house work to do here to get ready for the next calendar year. So first, welcome back, Sean. Welcome back, Jerry. You can both stand. We'll do the oral oath. So repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jerry Rossi,
Affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of the school board
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of the school board
of the Grafton School District to the best of my ability.
Of the
Grafton School District to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right, thank you very much. Great to have you both back. Next, we will have to go through and do a handful of elections. So the process of this will be to start with a nomination for each of the 4 officer positions. So there'll be a nomination, there'll be a second, then there'll be a vote for closing nominations, and a motion to close nominations, and then we will have a vote of the nominations, and then that will declare our officers for the next calendar year. So we will start with board president. So are there nominations for board president?
I nominate Steve Nada for board president.
Okay.
Move that nominations be closed.
Do we have a second?
Yes, second.
All in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes. I do accept the position of board president.
I'm sorry, they actually have to elect.
Oh, well, I was just saying that I would take it, and then we'll do the vote. Yes, yes. I don't want to vote me and say me. So, yes, so thank you for that, and I do accept. So with that, we would take a vote to vote Steve Nauta for board president. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes. Next, we will do election of vice president. So I would like to nominate Carrie Walls for vice president. We have a second.
Second.
Any additional nominations? Is there a motion to close nominations?
Motion to close the nomination.
We have a second.
Second?
All right. All in favor of closing nominations for vice president, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes. You willing to accept the
I
motion?
am, thank you.
Excellent. Let's take a vote for Carrie Walls to be vice president. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes as well. Thank you. Election for board clerk. Nominations, please.
I would like to nominate Jerry Rossi.
We have a second.
Second.
Any additional nominations? Do we have a motion to close nominations?
Motion, motion to close.
Second?
All in favor of closing nominations for board clerk, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes. Jerry, you accept?
Yes.
All right. With that, let's take a vote for the board clerk of Jerry Rossi. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes. Last, election of a board treasurer. Do we have a motion for board treasurer?
I nominate Mark Kaler.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Any additional nominations? If not, do we have a motion to close nominations?
Motion to close nominations.
Second.
All in favor of closing nominations for board clerk, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes. Mark, do you accept? Great. With that, we'll take a vote for Mark Kaler to be the board treasurer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes. And thank you for being treasurer. So those are our 4 officer positions. So thank you for going through that. We have a couple of appointments. At this point, our board is the same. So CISA 1 representative. Sean, would you be willing to hold that role again? So Sean will be our CISA 1 representative. WASB delegate. Carrie, would you be willing? Great. Carrie will be our WASB delegate. And Robert, our SWSA. Would you continue on that role?
Yes, please.
Great. So that will take care of all of our appointed positions as well. So with that, next we have the board meeting schedule.
Yes, I included a memo. We started doing this last year when we started trying to look ahead to the 23-24 meeting schedule and knowing there's conflicts with our calendar already being out. So after looking at the current calendar for 24-25 and the board currently holding its regular meetings on the 4th Monday of each month and the 2nd Monday of each month for committee meetings, there would be conflicts in the 24-25 school year with the 4th Monday in December. But December 23rd is the district's winter break. In March 24th is during the district spring break, and May 26th is Memorial Day. So administration is recommending continuing with the established schedule of our board meetings of the 4th Monday of each month and committee meetings on the 2nd Monday of each month, with the exceptions of moving the December meeting to December 16th, the March meeting to March 17th, and the May meeting to May 19th.
So any questions on that? That's the same as we did last year, as we just identified the conflicts right away and just approved that into our calendar versus doing it before the meeting. So if there are no questions, do we have a motion to approve the 24-25 school year Board of Education meeting calendar?
So moved.
Second.
Any additional discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And we have our calendar. Thank you. Last thing, item number 7, board committee membership. So as far as with that, if we won't approve anything tonight, we'll keep everything as it is right now. If anybody has any thoughts or ideas of something that they would like to do or to change, let's just spend the next couple of weeks, email me, and we'll finalize the committee representation in our May meeting. But at this point, anything between now and the next meeting, we would all still be on the same committees. Okay. All right, that takes us through that portion, so thank you everyone for waiting. With that, let's go to the consent agenda. So we have 2 items, the approval of the minutes from March 18th, as well as the statement of receipts and expenditures from March 2024. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any additional discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes and statement of receipts, say aye. Aye. Opposed, and that passes. All right, superintendent's report.
Yes, so we'd like to echo what Mr. Nada said. Congratulations to both Jerry and Sean on being reelected to the school board. So thank you for your willingness to continue to make our district a great place to learn and work. We appreciate that. Our first item is our newest class of the Grafton High School Athletic Hall of Fame. And I've asked Kevin Moore to come up and share a little details on the 3 people that will be inducted on Thursday, May 2nd at 5 p.m.
Thank you. Yep, like Mr. Nelson said, our fourth class of the GHS Athletic Hall of Fame is being inducted on May 2nd. Ceremony starts at 6. Included would be Dennis Gecky. Dennis was not only a teacher of 34 years in our social studies department here at GHS, but a head coach. He actually coached in 4 different athletic programs. He was the head baseball coach from 79 to 2004. That included 3 conference championships and 1 state appearance. He was the head boys basketball coach from 81 to 88. And he also squeezed in time to be an assistant with the girls staff between between 1990 and 97, which also included 2 state appearances. So a decorated coach and teacher here at GHS. The next one would be Tom Roy, class of 1967. Tom was probably best known for his prowess on the GHS baseball team. He eventually signed a free agent contract with the San Francisco Giants organization after high school. Was also a member of the GHS basketball team. He was a part of the 66 state team. In 1967, he was the conference's leading scorer, all-conference, and honorable mention all-state. He went on to be a high school head coach and college head baseball coach at various stops, and then he founded a company called UPI, which is a ministry that works specifically with Major League Baseball, combining up faith and everyday life in professional baseball. So a distinguished alumni and athlete of ours. And then also finally Bailey Nenning is class of 2006, one of our most decorated GHS swimmers. She was a 2-time individual champion in the 500 free and the 200 IM. She captained 2 state championship teams back-to-back in 2004 and 2005. She also swam at UWM for 4 years, so a decorated swimmer. So we're very excited about this year's class. Again, it's our 4th class that's going to be inducted into our GHS Hall of Fame. Very excited about it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Moore. And then thank you to the Grafton Education Foundation. And I see Jessica's here, so I don't mean to steal her thunder, but we thank them for supporting our educational programs by awarding teachers with $54,674 in grants this year. So they have funding for the following: reading intervention supplies, musical rights and costumes at Woodview, reading curriculum enhancements at Kennedy and Woodview, heart monitors, microscopes, amino acid starter kits, and makerspace materials at John Long, robotics supplies at the high school, and all-inclusive playground equipment at Kennedy. And then at their night of giving, they recognize the 2024 GEF Golden Apple Award winners: Don Burgos, 5th grade teacher at Woodview; Laura Jarvis, kindergarten teacher at Kennedy; Kastrine Patriga, 2nd grade teacher at Woodview; and Barb Fannerstill, special education aide at Woodview. Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up. It's May 6th through 10th. District teachers and all staff in our buildings will be recognized and thanked throughout the week. So great opportunity for parents and adults to reach out to our staff and thank them for all the work that they do on a daily basis for our students during the week of May 6th through 10th. And then John Long Middle School referendum update. So I want to thank our community for supporting the solution that was presented to address our growing student population. So moving forward, each month we will have an item on the board agenda dedicated to updating everyone on the progress that has occurred over the preceding month. And with the passing of the referendum on April 2nd, we promptly held a kickoff meeting with Growth Design to begin setting milestones to ensure the project is completed on time and on budget. We had our professional development day this past Friday. We took a team to go on site visits to middle schools in Kewaskum, Pewaukee, and Fox Point Bayside. Kewaskum had built a brand new middle school about 6 or 7 years ago. Pewaukee did a remodel so they could add a grade to their middle school. And Fox Point Bayside is in the process of building their new building. So we got to see the upper part was, some of it was finished. We were able to see that, but to hear their philosophy as they designed it and see those spaces really gave us a range of options on our visits. Chris Weiss, Amanda Mack, myself, our 5th grade teachers, the 6 5th grade teachers, our 4 special ed teachers at John Long, and Jenny Gunderson and Michelle Chop represented our itinerant staff that all went on the tours. Following tours, we came back to district office, had a working lunch, and debriefed with Growth Design on what we saw, synthesized our observations and insights. Growth Design is now taking that feedback and will work on refining the concept designs that we'd seen during our presentations. And then we'll bring the teacher teams back to get more feedback before the school year ends. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll be bringing them back again to hear some feedback. So smaller groups after school, 30 to 45-minute meetings to get feedback so they can continue working on the design pieces moving forward. And then also acknowledging that the upcoming school year will be the final year at our elementary schools for the 4th and 5th grade students. I've met with Chris, Craig, and Jill and asked them to begin working with staff to document our current experiences at the 4th and 5th grade at each building. So our objective is to thoroughly assess the transition process for students entering our middle school, ensuring a seamless transition to the 25-26 school year. We'll be working with 4th and 5th grade teachers in the process, and principals will be sharing updates with parents as we move forward, knowing this is a big change for our families, and next year it'll be a big change. Typically, it's always 5th grade, the 5th grade night this week, but think of the transition to middle school. There'll be 2 grades that will be making that transition, so we'll be updating families on the work that's been done in the previous month. And then one final thing that I did not list on here is that Senator Ron Johnson came and visited John Long Middle School and Grafton High School on Friday, April 12th. The visit was set up by Carrie Slominski at the middle school as she had a student in her career mentorship class that plans to go into politics. And so Senator Johnson came and spoke with him and then met with the John Long Middle School Future Business Leaders of America students about his journey from manufacturing success and being a business owner to serving as a senator. Senator Johnson then went to the high school where the U.S. government students engaged in a Q&A with the senator. So great opportunity for our students to hear from a senator in person. And with that, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Nelson?
The design concepts that are now being vetted out, or is that going to come back to finance, or is that going to come here? I mean, for the final recommendation on like the layout?
Yep, we don't, we'll see where, it'll come back at some point. They're working on, so we saw like multiple options of like, would you like to have like breakout spaces in the room like we do now in our current 4th and 5th grade new classrooms? Would you rather not have that collaborative space and have some nooks that would be out in the hallway that students could be working with and special ed teachers could be working with students? So they shared those 8 different concepts with us earlier, and really they bid out the square footage for the contract piece. So now they're saying, okay, well, they're going to bring a couple options back so staff could look at both the benefits and the downsides of options and give some feedback to sort of look to see. So they're going to, when they can do that and then bring it back to staff will depend on when we can bring it back and get feedback from the board.
Any other questions?
It was timely to have the PD day because it allowed us, because otherwise there wouldn't have been a day we could have taken all 4 of our special ed teachers out of the middle school on the same day and all 6 5th grade teachers on the same day at Woodview to be able to get, and even our itinerant staff to be able to get feedback from them and see it in action. Talk to teachers was really a great opportunity for us to get some insight and just some ideas to move this forward pretty quickly.
Great. All right, next this will bring us to public comment. So if anyone in the audience would like to speak, please come up, state your name and address.
I'm Steve Hansen. I was the assistant varsity wrestling coach this past season. I have a daughter on the team as well, sophomore, going to be a junior, Audrey Hansen. I'm just here to show my support for Coach Murray, who was dismissed as head coach about a week and a half ago or so. I know he's absolutely devastated by this decision. This team means the world to him. These kids mean the world to him, as you can see the support of the team and the parents here. We're a little worried that he had such big plans for this program. And as you know, Grafton is kind of an underdog to begin with in terms of wrestling. We're a D2 school in a D1 division going against the likes of West Bend, East and West and Homestead, on a weekly basis. So he shared his plans of growth for this program over this spring break with me and just got everybody excited about where he wanted to take it, what he was going to do, from bringing national champions like Parker Kaikaisen into the room and a Grafton, a kid who's now wrestling D1 in Missouri. He was leading some of our practice and stuff like that. And not to mention the growth of the women's program, which he takes very seriously. Wrestling's the fastest growing sport, period, in the country for women right now. It's a beautiful thing to see. He has great plans to grow it and takes really good care of the women on the team now and wants to eventually have a women's team. We're already making strides towards that in terms of having an all-women's conference for the first time ever. There's all-girls state, which is very cool. So just didn't want to see that momentum stalled with his dismissal, not to mention that I think this is going to be, the 4th coach in 5 years for Grafton Wrestling, something like that. I know our seniors have had 3 different coaches. And you can't build a program like that. You can't build consistency like that if you're constantly going through coaches. So again, I don't want to take up all this time. I know other people want to speak. Just wanted to voice my support for Coach Murray, and hopefully this decision can be reversed and we can continue to build this program. We have something very special here. These kids are very special. It's a privilege to be in that room every day, seeing them grow, seeing them change, seeing them succeed. I know none of us take it lightly, and I know that something like this means the world to us, to be able to coach these kids. So just wanted to voice my support for Coach Murray.
Thank you.
My name is Tom Schumacher, and I'm a sophomore and captain of the Grafton wrestling program. I believe that the dismissal of Coach Murray is completely unjust and provides more instability to a struggling program. This program has gone through 4 coaches in the past 5 years, and even though I was not around for most of them, I have seen the effects of this instability through the wrestling of my teammates. A program that is successful must have the continuity in its coaching staff, and Coach Murray was the start of something great. He has made us not only better wrestlers, but better people in the school and the community, as well as closer bonded teammates. Under Coach Murray, this program was growing to not be just a team, but a bigger presence in the community. Furthermore, Coach Murray has helped me improve mentally improved my mental state, not just to my wrestling matches, but also my mentality to approaching my academics, my work, and my family. Coach Murray has worked tirelessly for us without 1 ounce of selfishness or hatefulness to any of my teammates. It is my firm belief that Coach Murray was let go unjustly and should be reinstated, as he wanted the best for all of his athletes. He changed my life and turned me into a, quote, social anxious freshman who came in to this program into a true leader with a great future. Coach Murray's impact on this team was tremendous on and off the mat, which is why he should be reinstated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jessica Van Sluis, and I'm just here to give you an update on a few items from our Grafton Education Foundation. So highlights of our Night of Giving event, we had 120 plus attendees, which was a large group for not only attendance, but we also had a very large online auction pool of people that got involved. Our ballparking around 55K was raised by the event, so pretty excited about that. That is in combination with our auction items as well as our raffle. We want to thank Jeff Nelson and all of our school district board for their auction donations, all of the school's principals and staff for those donations, as well as the attendance and support of the evening. And thank you, Jeff, for sharing all the winners before, so I don't have to do it. And then just want to also call out that on June 6th, we'll be hosting our next event, which is our Color Blast. And really want to point out that normally in the past, we've been holding it and hosting it up here at the high school. It is now moved to John Long. So just want to note that. And we're just really excited about the board members giving their time. Some of you may have realized you volunteered or were voluntold. But you will be serving the community at Sahalo, who's supporting GEF as well. So super excited about that, and thank you guys for your support. And thank you again for everything you did for Grafton Education Foundation, because we were able to give those grants, and we're really excited about the advancement that this is allowing for our kids. And really, obviously, I think that it's a testament to show that we are enhancing and enriching the environment so that kids actually want to go to school here and grow their community and be a part of such an awesome organization. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Robin Wiegand, and I'm here regarding the referendum. I recognize it's passed. I just want to express to the board the sense of urgency in getting a plan together for those individuals, those transitioning fourth graders, so that both them and their parents are prepared when they go into school next year, that they know what's staying, what's going away, and that we make sure that we give them the same opportunities and consider them. They've been through a lot. They're not going to be the last kids at the school next year, unfortunately. They'll have the fifth grade above them, but just making it a special opportunity for them and not forgetting to celebrate them and recognize their transition. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
My name is Jackson Wojcik. I'm a junior, and I'm also part of the varsity wrestling team. I'm not here to obviously, I'm going to say the exact same things they did, but I feel like I want to advocate for myself as well. I stand before you today to advocate for the reinstatement of our beloved wrestling coach. Throughout my time on the team, Coach Brent Murray has not only been a great mentor, but also a source of inspiration and guidance. Under Coach Murray's leadership, our team has achieved remarkable success both on and off the mat. Their dedication, expertise, and unwavering support has transformed us into a tight-knit family, instilling in us the values of discipline, perseverance, and sportsmanship. Personally, I believe Coach Murray has had a profound impact on my life. The belief of my abilities when I doubted myself pushed me to reach new heights. He taught me the importance of hard work, resilience, and never giving up both in wrestling and in life. Not only does Coach Murray possess exceptional technical knowledge, but he also excels in fostering a positive and inclusive team environment. He treats us as an athlete and as an individual, recognizing our strengths and weaknesses and tailoring his coaching style to bring out the best in each and every one of us. The absence of Coach Murray has left a void within our team. We miss his guidance, passion, and the ability to motivate us to achieve greatness. The impact of his absence is not only felt by the wrestling mat, but in our personal lives, as he has become a trusted confidant and a role model for many of us. I strongly believe that reinstating Coach Murray is not only has the best interest of the team, but also as a decision that will benefit the entire wrestling program. His experience, expertise, and dedication are unparalleled, and his return would undoubtedly contribute to the continued success and growth of our team. In conclusion, I urge you to seriously consider reinstating Coach Murray, as his impact on our lives and the wrestling program as a whole is immeasurable. Let us continue and support the team of a coach who has touched our lives with so many and has the ability to continue shaping the future of generations of Grafton wrestlers. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to item C, the personnel report.
Yes, I have a number of new hires with our retirements, and then adding 2 teachers for our, the one at the kindergarten at the Bubble Classroom, one in our first grade at the Bubble Classroom, and then adding a special ed teacher at Kennedy with the retirements, and then those 3 additional staff. Our principals and interview teams have been busy over the last month. I appreciate all the work they've put forward to bring forward some high-quality candidates. So we would ask for board approval for Beth Anzia, science teacher at Grafton High School, Nikki Blauett, 3rd grade teacher at Kennedy Elementary School, Ashley Guinevere, kindergarten teacher at Woodview Elementary School, Fallon Kennedy, 4th grade teacher at Kennedy Elementary, Joshua Mack, special education teacher at Grafton High School, Kelly Peterson, 1st grade teacher, Kennedy Elementary School, Connor Pryor, math teacher at Grafton High School, Kelly Verbeck, speech language pathologist, Kennedy Elementary School, and Kelly Yonker, special education teacher at Kennedy Elementary School. We would also ask for approvals for resignations for Sharon Kildow, math teacher at John Long Middle School, effective at the end of the 23-24 school year. And one that was just added this evening is Dr. Michael McMahon, Director of Teaching and Learning, as he was accepted tonight at Port Washington's school board meeting as their next superintendent. And then informational, we have Sarah Mueller, Administrative Assistant at John Long Middle School, who replaced Marion Paulus, who had resigned as Administrative Assistant at John Long Middle School. And new this month, and we'll continue doing this, is we're adding the teachers that are working in our summer school program. So although they're working in our summer school, so letting the board know those that will be working with our students over the summer that may or may not be district teachers, but we'll be working with our students of Riley Anderson, Joshua Mack, Samantha Prochnow, Michelle Sheftkin, Alexandra Schley, and Sam Schubring.
Any questions on the new hires or resignations for approval, or the information only? Okay. All right, so we will take these in twos for the approval. So we can just do the new hires as noted on the personnel report. So do I have a motion for the new hires as listed on the report?
So moved.
Second.
Any additional discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes, and we look forward to all of them joining our district. 2 resignations, Sharon Kidlow and Michael McMahon. Do we have a motion to accept those resignations?
So moved.
Second.
Any additional discussion? All in favor of accepting the resignation, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes as well. Mr. McMahon, congratulations.
Thank you.
Great. All right, that is all.
And he's still working for us until June 30th.
Yes, yes.
He's promised me that.
Orange and black every day, right?
He'll be working a little extra for a little while.
All right, great. Item D, contract for design services. Topher.
So we have this on the agenda, so that if the contract had been approved, gone through the whole process, we could bring it tonight. It is still undergoing review and finalization. So right now, moving forward, we'll continue to operate under the letter of intent, which, as Jeff mentioned, we are full tilt going on design with the site visits on Friday and the many scheduled design meetings that are coming up. We anticipate having a contract to the board for approval at the May board meeting. The construction RFQ has been released with a deadline of May 3rd for proposals. That will give us time to analyze those proposals and bring a recommendation to the Finance Committee on May 13th, which could then be approved May 20th at the board meeting, which would then begin the process of reviewing and finalizing a construction manager contract, anticipating approval of that at the June board meeting.
Informational only. Any questions for Topher? Okay. E, referendum financing plan.
Yes, we have Mike Clark from Baird, who will be discussing the financing plan for our referendum project.
Does everybody have a copy on their computer, or?
It was shared electronically. It's also in the packet.
Good evening, and congratulations. Just to back up to the kind of the starting point, I know there's a few new board members, but it wasn't that long ago we refinanced and restructured some of the district's existing debt from the prior referendum to kind of maximize state aid, that the district would receive. And it creates a structure where the expenditures are every other fiscal year. You levy every year, and you have we're going to follow that same structure for this, is what we're showing tonight, with a little twist, is that as a result of the growth the district's experiencing, it's become a little bit more favorable in the aid formula. So we probably will still have some expenditures in what we had been designated as no expenditure years. But the basic concept would be the same. The bulk of the expenditures will fall in line with the expenditures for existing debt, again, to maximize state aid to the school district. In terms of, you have see the screens now. You have the timeline up first. So so we're discussing this tonight. There's some flexibility. We have the rating call scheduled for next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. We think that we don't anticipate any issues with the district's credit rating. The growth of the district, positive enrollment, positive budget results. This amount of debt is relatively small, and it's being paid off within the same period of your existing debt, so there's no extension of debt. So we anticipate the credit rating probably staying the same, but we don't see any downward pressure at all. We'll have a disclosure council call, and again, disclosure council is a little different than bond council. What they do is they kind of test everything in the sales documents to make sure they're accurate. We'll have a call with the district to ask a bunch of questions to make sure there's no outstanding issues that should be noted in the sales documents. It's really become a norm almost, because the sellers of your debt and whoever trades your debt in the future needs to be able to point to something to give assurance to individuals that the information around the sale of the debt was accurate, and that's the role. And if there are any questions in the future, Disclosure Council would serve that role. So we'd receive the rating, we'd begin marketing the notes kind of mid-May, doing kind of pre-selling, getting some information out once we have the rating in place. The agenda language would come to the district the week of May 13th, and we would schedule the sale of the debt on May 20th at that board meeting. And then we would anticipate June 10th in terms of the district receiving the funds. And because of the amount of the debt that the district is selling, the district, we don't have to worry as much about arbitrage because you're earning more on the money, because you'll have 3 years to spend the money. You have to spend 5% in the first 6 months, and then you have to spend the balance by the end of the 3 years. So it will be an opportunity that districts who have issued larger amounts and they have a 2-year spend down are really having to watch some of their spending timelines. We're going to have to break the borrowing into multiple pieces. That's not an issue here. So, so that's the schedule. Any questions on the schedule? What's upcoming? Again, tonight we just wanted to kind of inform you of the schedule and what the financing would look like. And then back to the financing. Again, we're going to match it. Again, I want to confirm that it does not go beyond your existing debt, which was something that was communicated during the referendum process. I know it's hard to see, probably better on your computers or your hard copy. We are anticipating one thing that's a little different. You can see that as opposed to the existing debt, we have interest payments every year scheduled. This plan will provide the district flexibility to kind of react to maybe the state biennium budget and how many dollars are going into the aid formula to try to maximize making sure you're getting your full secondary aid, because that's positive, and just trying to minimize the negative tertiary aid, which is where they, in your case, because your valuation, you would lose aid dollars. So we want to make sure, and again, you're 60-some%, correct me if I'm wrong, 60-some% positive on the secondary.
It's closer to 50%.
To 50%. So we want to make sure you're, in those cases, those dollars, you're getting 50% aid for every dollar you spend. We want to make sure we're getting all of that. The interest rate, again, in this plan, we're using 3.99%. That's still above market, still conservative. We'd use 5% during the referendum process. So that the tax impact that we're projecting at this point using the conservative interest rate is still only using 1% property value growth, is actually, we anticipate the tax rate being down about 41 cents. We'll know more for sure in May. From an interest rate standpoint, we'll have that locked in. Obviously, valuation growth, 1%, I think is pretty conservative for your community. So I think from a taxpayer standpoint, it'll be a very positive result. So. And again, there may be some things in the future as it relates to your overall debt, possibly doing some defeasances to time some expenditures and things. So this is something the district will have to manage, again, mainly around that aid component. So.
Question.
Sure.
As long as we're on this slide, the hypothetical state aid impact that you had there, there are like 4 of them?
Yes. Those are what we're anticipating. That's because in the years you spend, there will be some expenditures that will have negative tertiary, and I'm talking your overall aid.
Right.
Until you lose 15% of your previous year's aid. That's the most you can use. And then any expenditures in those years have no aid loss. So we are kind of modeling some aid loss, what that actually will be. But in the years where you don't have expenditure, your aid will go back up. So you're actually losing from a higher number. So I think how we illustrate it's a little conservative, it maybe not that much. But in reality, as was done with the refinancing, there'll be additional state aid coming to the school district with this structure that we anticipate.
That was my biggest concern because we did all that work to.
Oh, yes. But even then, if you look back, we were projecting some aid loss because in our spend years, or I should say the year after our spend years, because the aid lags a year, you lose aid up to the point you lose the 15%. You just don't lose any additional. And then when you don't have expenditures, your aid goes back up. So, yes, we're still benefiting from that structure.
Great.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Okay.
Right, Mike, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, that takes us to F, recommendations from the April 8th Curriculum Committee meeting.
This is an area Dr. McMahon has done a really great job over the last 3 years, so I waited till he got up here to say something about him. So he's been here 9 years, and in all of the roles that he's had in our district has done a really great job, whether it's a principal or stepping in from the principal role into the director role. So he's a good person, good role model for all of our staff, and will be sorely missed, and we wish him the best, and we know he'll do great things as he moves on, but we appreciate the work that he's done. And with that, I'll turn it over to you to talk about curriculum committee.
Thank you. So Jeff stepped in and actually led the curriculum committee 2 weeks, but I have good notes. The two things that we brought were connected to textbook renewals as well as our library plan. First and foremost, the textbook renewal process is something we go through connected to new courses. The first one you see is our AP Pre-Calc course. That process was approved by you as a board in the fall, and so we quickly then turn around and start looking at textbooks to adopt. Our AP textbook team really looked deeply at textbooks, knowing that this is a new course and that the College Board may be making some adjustments. So Nikki Grubling, who presented that night, actually brought forth a Calcmedic online platform, which will adjust a little bit more regularly with the curriculum and that the College Board updates each summer. So they're bringing forth that recommendation to move forward at least for 1 year and continue year-to-year updates. The textbook that many districts were adopting around us is actually a similar textbook that we have in our district now. So our team has started to look closely at that and then synthesized what they've done with Calcmedic. For year one, we'll also pay for the individual student licenses since that won't be a part of the handbook. So our total estimated cost for Calcmedic and the licenses would be $3,285 for the first year, followed by $675 cheaper, each significantly cheaper year after year, because then it would just be tied to the teacher licenses teaching the course. So that's our first one. Our next recommendation is actually tied to a renewal process. So AP Biology is a textbook that we brought forward 7 years ago for an adoption process. Many textbooks do not last like they used to. Back in my day, we would adopt a textbook that would last for years and years. However, with curriculum alignment to a digital resource and renewal processes, we're seeing that a little more regularly coming back to us. And so our biology team of Andy Hudson went through a number of textbook options and came back to the current one that we're using with an updated version of 12th edition of the Campbell Biology book. Really saw some great work out of that textbook over the last 6 years, and the updates provide some good updates as we prepare students for AP Biology. Total cost of that one was $7,905.60. So I'd be asking for approval of those two textbooks.
When the committee met, we were really impressed with the Calcmedic. They've done units 1, 2, and 3 this year with some of their students, which seems to have gone well. They'll take that AP test coming up in a few weeks. And then with the AP Bio, yeah, the updates, especially in gene technology, the digital resources would really help up it, because we all know science is always changing, so good to have our students up to date. So the recommendation from the committee was to approve.
Any other questions? It was a good discussion, good presentation at the curriculum meeting. So with that, I would look for a recommendation to adopt the AP Pre-Calc as requested.
So moved.
Second.
Personal discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, and that passes. And then the second one would be for a recommendation to approve the AP Biology. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, and that passes as well. So thank you. And then you have approval of the 3-year library plan.
Yeah, so per policy 2522, we bring forward a long-range library plan. We have not gone much beyond 3 years as we see shifts and changes in library. 3 years ago, we came to you with really a plan connected to technology, STEM, and integration of technology into the library. And just 3 years later, we now have a new curriculum, Amplify CKLA, which Adon Burgos and Betsy Bergman were at the meeting 2 weeks ago to talk about the shift in literacy, as well as the data that we're seeing connected to iReady and how students are performing better on informational texts already just in year one of Amplify. And so our team of teachers, our PLC, started to talk about what that would mean for libraries. And our teachers overwhelmingly said our library plan needs to be reflective of building the love of literacy, checking books out, and reading those books. Oftentimes we were seeing kids checking books out in library and going right to the STEM activities, getting that book right off the shelf, checking out as quickly as possible, going back to the classroom and sticking that book in the return bin. So it was really connected to the engagement of technology, which was great. However, it wasn't connected to the library love of literacy. And so our goals reflect a lot of that. Our data also reflects a push towards that more focus on book studies, author studies, and really thinking about those fiction texts that our students are not necessarily engaging with as much in our new ELA curriculum Amplify. It's bringing forth new topics that our students are learning about from a nonfiction perspective, so that was the big shift. And so our goals really are tied to that, evaluating how we can expand digital resources inventory better to support educational needs as the one digital focus, but you'll see that in the other goals, it's connected to building ELA curriculum tied to Amplify and the love of reading. Our middle school goals are connected to enhancing some of the work that we've done with technology. So we're enhancing technology at the middle school and also at the high school, thinking about what that high school transformation can look like in this space as we think about the weeding and the shifting of the overall collection happened here. So really a connection to a goal at each level. But this time around, our library plan really is reflective of teacher voice. Lots of PLC time was dedicated to this. And I think Lorraine talked about that 2 weeks ago on how many different meetings and how many different stakeholders we engaged in this process to make sure what we were bringing to you tonight was what we wanted for the next 3 years. So we'd be seeking approval for that process.
At the committee, Lorraine did an excellent job going through all of the plans. It was really engaging, including Amplify, the curriculum we had just adopted, and how the informational text will be very much supported and having those kids. It's hard to find second grade, material sometimes at some of those huge topics they cover, like the Roman Empire and all the others. So that she's gone out and found it for us, more time in the library, going through the books that the kids just aren't reading as much and getting new ones, including at the high school some more medical books to help students prepare for future careers. And even looking into, for the referendum, looking at our libraries and deciding what books need to go with our fifth graders up to the middle school so that they have the books that they would like, because there is a difference. So it is already being considered which books will go up and which books will stay at which library. And there's always interchange between it. She pointed out, like, it may look like we have fewer books, but that, no, libraries, the books are always available, wide selection, including increasing our magazines so kids can really enjoy what they're reading, to get a little more specific topics, to get more kids actually reading. So I think the recommendation was definitely to approve the plan.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? It was great discussion. Lorraine gave a great presentation. So certainly it was all covered. And with that, with the recommendation from the curriculum committee, do we have a motion to approve the 3-year library plan for 2024 through 2027?
So moved.
Second.
Additional discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes. Thank you. We've got a couple of informational items also from that meeting.
I can stick around for a little bit of that and then turn it over to Carrie to explain a little bit. But for our E4E plan, that's connected to board policy, does not necessarily have to be passed, but really just information only. Greg Johnson and Rachel Baronic talked about really the overall plan of E4E, or Education for Employment, talked about the connected community partnerships we've established, the academic career planning process that we here have in our district across 612, and the counseling department working as a 6-8 team with our non-12 counselors, talking about individualized academic career planning support and then future goals for implementation was a part of that whole plan. I would say that Grafton has done an outstanding job of also connecting that to Redefining Ready. You've heard about it through our Vision 2030. All of the things that are connected to that are so interconnected with E4E, so that was really a nice transition. And I've also partnered with Amanda Mack, our People Service Director, on all of this. So hopefully Greg and Rachel projected that solid plan that I really believe strongly in is connected to our Vision 2030 as well.
It was a Good presentation. We learned a lot about the career mentorship. They've done a great job on the education, starting in the middle school with the kids having career days, the Waukesha Medal Tour, professional prep days for the 8th graders. They're going out, internships at local businesses. At the high school, we just used our last all-day testing day. Half of it was used for the 9th graders to go to CAPCO, learn about all the various careers they have there, from the digital media to the community service, and then they came back and did Mills Charities, with the 10th graders then going on to learn about post-secondary careers at MATC and UWM, and there'll be a career fair in the fall, so really getting our students out there to learn about all the options there are for them, and starting as early as middle school, so very exciting.
Excellent. And then the other final thing, you had your principals at our meeting last 2 weeks ago to talk about student code of conduct connected to policy 5500, and the principals presented what the code of conduct looks like at each of those levels, elementary, middle school, and high school. And I'm sure they'd be happy to chime in with anything.
Any additional questions for Michael or Carrie from that April 8th meeting? Last two, information only. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item H, contract for CISA 1.
Yes, contract for CISA 1 services. The first 4 pages are the various legal terminology of our contract with CISA 1 that we use every year. The back page, the 5th page, is our statement of work. So working with Laura Stouts to say what are some of those pieces that CISA 1 provides to us. First of all, the membership is just based on our enrollment and the flat fee that goes with that. And then Ozaki Community High School is our alternative school that we have high school students at. And then we're projecting what our itinerant staff needs would be for blind and visually impaired for next year that they would be contracting with us. So this gives us a projected amount. It's not a final piece, but it lets them start planning for what they're doing for various, all the districts in CISA 1. And so we would ask for board approval for the contract for the 24-25 school year.
Any questions on the CISA 1 contract? Okay. With that, I would look for a motion to approve the 24-25 CISA 1 contract as presented.
Second.
Additional discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes as well. Aye. 2023-24 third quarter budget report.
Yes, so as we do every April, we take a look at our budget performance through the third quarter. I have a 1-slide presentation tonight. Next month, there will be many more slides than that, but tonight it's just one. So I've highlighted areas of the budget in yellow that are running a little hotter than last year with some explanation that was included in the packet. So for purchase services in Fund 10, as well as Fund 27. So we have, last year we had, we were missing an invoice. Basically, we've paid an extra invoice through the third quarter that wasn't paid last year, making it look like, and we have spent a higher percentage relative to last year, but that will correct itself since that's already been paid. Then for non-capital objects in both 10 and 27, we have a textbook purchase this year that's earlier timed than last year. That is inflating this year's expenditure percentage, and general supply budgets, as looking at those are being spent down earlier than they were last year. Then as we move to the insurance and judgments portion of Fund 10, so every year, or any year I should say, when we switch carriers and they have different structures of how we make those payments for property or what have you, that can do that. We've had this before. The structure right now has it fully paid for the year, whereas last year was not. So we don't have any more property or workers' comp insurance payments to make. There could be some potentially like unemployment insurance payments to make, but basically we've paid that account out, and that's how it's structured this year. Last year it was structured to still have some payments being still to be made in the fourth quarter. So no concern there. And then for other objects, in Fund 10, we've seen this in years past where we had an audit adjustment at the end of last year, which essentially inflates the actual activity, making it look like what we had spent last year to this point seemed like a smaller percentage, and it is, but you can see that this year we've actually spent less money in that expenditure category than we did last year. So overall, the budget's kind of behaving very similarly to what we've seen in years past.
Informational only. Any questions for Topher as we prepare for next meeting? Great, thank you. Item J, gift report.
Yes, we have two different gift reports that we'd ask for board approval for. One being from the Grafton Basketball Backcourt Club with Joe Hildebrand as the contact person. It is restricted gift for GHS boys basketball, charge of Haley Lannon Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $350. And then we have 4 different donations that have been made towards the Kennedy Elementary School playground. We would ask for board approval. Jean Linfante, Friends of Kenny, $300. Mel's Charity in the skipping donation level of $2,500. Stephen and Kelly Herlock hopping donation level in the amount of $1,000. And the Grafton Education Foundation donation level Soaring Like an Eagle, a donation amount of $14,500. We would ask for board approval for those donations.
Questions on the gift report? If not, I would look for a motion to approve the gift reports as presented.
Second.
Additional discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes, and we thank them, and we'll get them letters for appreciation of their support of our district. That brings us to adjournment. The Board of Education will consider a motion to convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.85, Section 1, subsection C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility for purpose of considering 1, final notice of non-renewal of teaching contracts, 2, teacher contracts and employee compensation, and 3, retirement benefits. Do we have a motion to go into closed?
So moved.
Second. The first and a second, we'll take a voice vote.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes, we are in closed. Thank you.